Chad Sarno. I should say Chef Chad Sarno, because I've known you as that for a number of years. And before I even thought about raw foods, I met you and you served me some food, and I've seen you in demonstrations in culinary schools and around the country. And I know you've even done it around the world. Another organization that has thought of you being fabulous is Whole Foods. So what specifically are you doing there?
I joined Whole Foods Market about a little over 2 years ago now. Whole Foods has been selling the healthiest food for over 30 years now, the healthiest organic foods. They just turned 30. And they have core values, which is like the mission statement of the company. And they added a new core value around health education for their customers and team members. So everything with their core value kind of stems and ripples out to the company and what they represent and the culture and so forth. And under that core value, we were trying to figure out a way to not only create wellness within the company, but also bring that to the customers. Because the greatest piece I think that was missing with Whole Foods was the health education. A lot of people thought that when you could walk through the golden doors of Whole Foods, you could have fried chicken and a soda, and because it's organic or what, they think it's healthy because and that's been a large misperception for many years. So that's where this initiative came from, was to really have a gold star of health education in the company. So I'm the global lead educator. I travel nationally, internationally around with all of our stores and train team members. So we were rolling this out for about a year and a half, and then we just started rolling out to the public. It's called Health Starts Here, our program.
Health Starts Here.
It's kind of the stepping stone for folks, and it's a guidance tool within the store. So wherever the logo is with prepared foods and bakery department. We have very strict criteria. And for the greatest explanation of the program, it really comes down to 4 pillars. And this is what we with all the education that stems from. We have a medical advisory board. Some of the doctors that are here, Dr. Neil Barnard, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Furman, John Robbins is on there as well, Dr. Stoll, Dr. Clapper, they're all on our medical advisory board. So it's not just us preaching this message, we've translated their message over 25, 30 years now.
And those are the best of the best.
They really are. And so we've brought it down to 4 easy pillars, which is whole food, which is eating unprocessed foods and keeping it as whole as possible. Greatest way to describe that is if your grandmother wouldn't be able to make it in the kitchen, then it's not a whole food. And then healthy fats. So if you're going to choose fats, eat them in their plant-based whole form, such as avocados rather than avocado oil, or nuts rather than nut oils, and so forth. Plant strong, which is, I think, the greatest message with what we're doing is teaching people how to reconfigure the plate. So it's, no matter what people eat, everybody can withstand to eat more vegetables. I mean, if you look at the standard American diet, it's sick, as we all know. It's over 70% processed foods and 10 to 12% fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and so forth. So everybody can withstand to eat more veggies. So it's all about reconfiguring the plate, our whole focus. So instead of having a really small side of the vegetable, have plants as being the focus. So we're not pushing a vegan program, but by default, it's, many of us are following that. It's getting people more aware of just eating more plants at the end of the day. And then nutrient density is the other 4th pillar, which is all based on micronutrients per calorie. So we have a food scoring system within the store called AND, Aggregate Nutrient Density Index, and it's basically a scale of 0 to 1,000, a food scale that basically measures the amount of micronutrients per calorie. So, for example, kale, collards, bok choy, those are 1,000, whereas soda's like 0.1. So it's per calorie the micronutrients, for example, and it's relevant within each department. So if you're shopping for greens, if someone's used to just using iceberg lettuce in their salads, scores about 120 on the Andy scale. But why don't you just choose a darker green? Why don't you use kale, which is 1,000?
How does a customer see that?
Andy scores on all of the labels of the produce department and the bulk department. And so it's just one of the many tools that we're doing with Whole Foods. It's just a great guidance tool, because at the end of the day, it's getting people to eat more vegetables. Everybody loves a scorecard. People, believe it or not, like to be told what to do in terms of what to eat, because not everybody understands the nutrition side. I mean, for myself as well, it's tell me what to eat, tell me what I can't eat, and I'm good to go,
Right.
Or tell me what I can use, or tell me what I can't use.
Don't make me read a nutrition book.
Exactly, and many people, don't get that. I'm very much in, hands-on experience, and I need to actually, for my body over the years, I've been able to, my body's been my greatest teacher. I could read 500 nutrition books, but at the end of the day, I feel best. Over the number of years that I've been doing this, following these 4 pillars has woken me up
Wow.
Completely. At the end of the day, everybody can withstand eating more vegetables, no matter what form they're in. And I'm not just talking salads. I'm talking about having vegetables as the center of the plate. And when I speak of vegetables, it's dry vegetables as well. So beans, grains, and so forth. I classify those too as the
Oh,
same.
okay.
So beans, grains, and plants. That's the main focus right now, and we've been doing some amazing programs internally with our team members. These total health immersion programs that team members have to apply for it. Our employees apply for it, and if health criteria allows them to qualify, they get the opportunity to go through a week-long health program. And it's led by one of the doctors on our board.
Ah.
And it's a week-long program. We've sent about 1,200 team members through it in the past year and a half. It has been unbelievable what we've seen for team members that have lost hundreds of pounds, reversed diabetes, reversed disease, we've gotten off medications, and and I'm not making a claim just out of there, it's like firsthand watching team members, and we started doing this about a year and a half ago when we started to launch this program, and it is just rippled. 1,200 team members within a 60,000 team member company, that has just completely rippled the whole company. These people are out there as ambassadors following a program that not only tastes delicious, but it's saved their life. So what we're doing is we've saw such success internally is that the next step now, what we're doing is we're going to be launching wellness centers. So we're bringing that model that we've used for team members to the public.
So that would be that customers could sign up within stores, or
it's a fee-based program, and there's 5 we're launching as a model this year, and then we'll kind of see how it goes and work out the tweaks from there. But it's a diving deeper of our Health Starts Here. Health Starts Here is sort of the bridging point. It's very simple education. In addition to the prepared food and bakery items we have health eating specialists in most of our stores. So you can actually go into a store and you can say, you can go to these specialists. And back in the day when Whole Foods started, they had an info desk. From what I heard, they had an info desk, so you can go up to this one info desk and you can say, what do I do with collards, or what do I do with quinoa? How do I cook this, or how do I cook ramps, or how do I cook scapes, or something like that? And they'll tell you, they're like food coaches, and instead of these guys, they're health food coaches now. So you can go to these health eating specialists, and they'll do one-on-one tours with you to help you shop.
So you could give someone like that your parameters as to what
They just can't, because they're not nutritionists, dietitians,
Right.
They're strictly food coaches. So you can tell them what you're looking for, or say that you want to incorporate more greens or more vegetables in your diet, or you want to follow a Health Starts Here program, or you're on a 28-day cleanse, whether it's through a Health Starts Here or Engine 2, one of our partners, and you're doing a 28-day challenge. We're doing a lot of those in stores too, which is cool. So we're challenging our customers. If you don't think you can do it for 28 days, and we guarantee you. And what's amazing is we have groups of people doing this in stores. We've had probably about 15,000 customers do this since we've launched this in January, and no fee. So we have supper clubs, we have book clubs, we have all of this, and it really depends on the store, and that's really the beauty of Whole Foods Market, I feel. And I didn't know the company until I joined the company. I didn't know all of the aspects of what it represents, and the beautiful thing about the company, one of the many, is that it's so decentralized. So the stores it's all built on empowerment. So we give guidelines from the global level. We give guidelines and tools and teaching tools and education tools and ideas. And then the beauty of Whole Foods is they hire such creative people that they just run with it. Such passionate, creative people. As you know, before I joined Whole Foods, I was with SAF, the restaurant chain I opened up over in Europe.
SAF?
SAF, yeah. I was over there for about 5 years, so it's nice to be back in the States. And one thing I did feel is with the restaurants, I was only reaching a certain amount of people. And they'd leave happy, I'd feed them a plant-based meal, and that would be great. But I don't know how long that's gonna last for them in terms of making life changes. So this, working with Whole Foods, is the impact that I feel that we're making with the company and where we're going with it is just, it warms my heart. It's amazing. There's just so many tools at Whole Foods, and it's, for once we can say now there's a place that you can go for information.
How do you attract and educate someone who is thinking about all this for the first time?
That's what's amazing about this program, is that's why it's based on 4 pillars, and anybody can understand the 4
Would you
pillars.
say them again?
They're plant strong, whole food, nutrient dense, and healthy fats. And you can get into detail about each one, but just remembering those when you shop, it's looking at ingredients. Is this a whole food? Is this a fractionated food? Okay, no, I'm gonna put it away. Okay, and so we're really pushing folks to, not shop so much the center of the store. The produce department, the bulk department, so many people this day and age with budgets, folks that are really trying to eat healthy, but they think it's too expensive. That's a completely misperception.
So this is exceedingly important.
Yeah.
How does one eat well with a low budget?
You learn to cook. Just the basics, the most basic items of learn to cook. And we have the resource when you're at home. We have the resource of our website. We have over 150 recipes under Health Starts Here that we've developed.
And the website is?
WholeFoodsMarket.com. And I have recipes on my personal website, which is rawchef.com. It's a huge wealth of resources. There's tons of literature up there. There's books you can get if you're into the books. And, but like I said, a lot of people just like to get told what to do. But there's shopping lists on our website under Health Starts Here.
Oh, that's
And
fabulous.
it just makes it really easy, and a lot of folks, like I was saying, they think that eating healthy has to be expensive. There's a couple ways that you can look at it. One is you just got to educate yourself on, how to shop, what to shop for, and the really basics of cooking. Because if you were to have a staple diet of beans, grains, and greens, that's the cheapest way you can eat, and it's the healthiest way you can eat.
And they have their very own personal chef to walk into their kitchen, but they're very busy. They don't know a lot about cooking, but they're interested in knowing a little bit about the basics. What would you tell them about how to cook beans that can be that simple that some people really, really need to know? And which beans should they buy?
Instead of somebody taking a jump just to incorporate beans in their diet, I think the first step is looking at their diet. And the first step is eliminating dairy products. I think is more harmful than than actual meat. So eliminate dairy. That's number one. And I have my own personal journey with eliminating dairy. I healed myself from asthma at a young age from stopping to eat dairy products. So so the first one is to eliminate dairy. The other one is to eliminate processed foods as much as possible. So if you're buying anything in a bag or in a package or in a can, you want to make sure you look at those ingredients. One, if you can't pronounce them, don't put it in your body. If you can't even spell it, or if you don't know what the word is, don't put it in your body. And if you know for a fact it's not a whole food, try not to put it in your body. I think that's the greatest awareness that people need, I feel, is to just start transitioning from processed foods to whole foods. Because, just if you look at the standard American diet, 70% processed foods. 70%. So, of course, we need to emphasize more plant-based foods and more vegetables and all that. But we need to eliminate the processed foods. It's still only 25-30% animal products as a standard American diet. I believe that's the most recent.
Right.
But processed foods, I think, is the greatest issue. You go to any fast food joint, and we know fast food is not good for you, but if you get the veggie burger at I think Burger King has a veggie burger or something, the bun is over 80-something ingredients itself. The bun is 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients. So.
And it's best to buy your bread, if you're going to have it, in the frozen department.
You can buy in the frozen, but what's amazing about our program is all of our bakehouses at Whole Foods Market is started to do day-old breads, like really old school, old world breads. So they only use 100% whole ingredients. So either not even using oat bran or wheat germ or anything like that. It's 100% whole grain, and most of the bakehouses are doing sprouted grain as well.
That's
so in
extraordinary.
all of the bakeries, wherever you see this logo, you can find 5 or 6 different breads in the bakery department that are aligned with our program. There's options out there. And it's just for folks taking the steps to educate themselves on how they can actually improve their diet slowly. If you're into taking the huge jump, go for it. But the simplest thing of cooking beans, like you were saying, I think is really important. First, you soak them overnight, and beans are great to incorporate in your diet for sure. And I think that one thing when you're working with bulk foods, whether it's beans or grains and incorporating more, it's all about batch cooking. So a lot of people think it's so difficult to cook all the time and it takes so much time. It doesn't if you plan ahead. Like if I'm going to make beans, I'm going to make 3 times more than I'm going to need. Because the next day I'm going to put them in a soup. The next day after that I'm going to blend them into a spread and put them on a sandwich.
Or maybe make a burrito or a wrap or something. Oh,
exactly. And the same thing with the grains. Even if I'm going to have rice or quinoa, I'm going to make double and triple amount that I need. Because the next day I'm going to make a stir-fried rice, or I'm going to make a risotto with a non-dairy cream sauce, and I'm going to throw the cooked rice in already,
or just on a plate by itself.
Exactly.
I
or
sometimes
rice salad, cold grain salads, So it's just, I think the bottom line is educating yourself on how am I going to make this easy. And I hate to keep on saying Whole Foods Market, but and what's amazing is they're offering the tools to help people on the journey. And there's never been that. There's great health coaches and folks out there and businesses and organizations, but Whole Foods is a global company, and you can walk into any Whole Foods Market and get a shopping tour, ask them how to shop, ask the questions. You're guided by this logo that it's going to be plant-based, plant-strong.
Well, it's a win all around. The service you're not getting anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so it helps the company and it helps the customers. I mean, it's an equal trade-off. I just would still like to say a little bit about raw foods, since I know you're about
course,
the
yeah.
expert of the world in my mind. What would you recommend? What do you find in your classes over the years that people go, oh, wow?
I think what makes it really simple for folks is just learning the art of dressings, marinades, and sauces. Because once you have those, anything's going to taste delicious. You can make some base sauces, base marinades, base dressings, and throw in carrots 5 different ways throughout the week, and you have a delicious meal. Because they're different sauces, anybody's going to eat them. So whether they're cooked sauces or mother sauces, whether they're marinades or salad, which can also pair up as a salad dressing, and so it's just, I think, learning the basics. And for me, when I actually break flavor profiling down to a science, it's breaking it down to a fat, acid, salt, and sweet. So you always want to incorporate that fat, acid, salt, and sweet. Fats obviously are optional. Sodium is optional for folks.
So if you could get the formula, you can then innovate with
Exactly.
all of your favorite tastes.
Exactly. There's so many tools out there, and there's so many flavor books. And the Flavor Bible is a great book, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that
Yes,
book.
yes, it is
But
extraordinary book.
and there's a lot of education out there, but it's so easy. It's
So
complicated.
give us a recipe of your favorite sauce.
Favorite sauce, one of my favorite, I just love nut or seed-based dressings. You get almond butter, okay, or peanut butter. Okay, this is just a great one, just a great sauce, a great dressing over rice, whatever you want, whether it's cooked or raw, or
So,
cashew
so
butter.
you
either
start
way.
with peanut
That's
butter,
your
let's
fat.
say.
Yeah, or almond butter, that's your fat. And then you add your acid, which you can use some rice vinegar, or you can use some lemon juice, or you can use some lime juice. Then for the sweetener, you can use some dates, you can use some apricots, dried dates. You can use some maple if you're into agave, or if you're into honey, whatever sweetener you want. And then for the salt, you can do sea salt, or you can do tamari, or shoyu, or soy sauce, or miso, or anything like that. And then you can, depending on the type of cultural dish that you're going to make,
Right,
will depend
Asian
on-
or Italian.
Exactly, but
or
that's the base right there. And then from that, let's say you have the peanut butter or the almond butter, you have lime juice, you have dates, and you have soy sauce.
Oh, that sounds
That's
fabulous.
just the base, and then you can add from there. Okay, you can add lemongrass, cilantro, you can add garlic, you can add ginger, chilies, and that's an amazing peanut sauce right there.
Oh,
And so you can toss that with a salad, you can serve around rice, you can toss it with some raw vegetables, and it's just delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So it really comes down to, like I was saying, it's so simple, it's complicated for people.
Right.
And the more you actually dive into too many nutrition books, it's complicating. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the food. And I
Yes.
keep going back to these 4 pillars, but that's what's made it easy for me to understand, and for me to, because I'm working with classically trained chefs in the company, and our job on our team is we're going to all the prepared foods departments and training and working with chefs to help them be educated on these 4 pillars. And most chefs, they only get it when you tell them what and what not to use. So we've basically brought it down to these 4 pillars of the whole foods: plant strong, nutrient dense, healthy fats, and that's made it easy for people to just understand how to cook. It's just diving in and getting your feet wet, understanding that it is easy at the end of the day, and the first step is just to take control of your health and start diving in.
and not only that, at the end of your little process, you're going to be able to have a great taste in your mouth, and your tummy and your body is going to really respond.
It's simple
Yeah, yeah.
and delicious. And a lot of people shun it because, it's vegetarian. They think of what they can't have. Once you start diving in, it is abundant how much you can have.
Thank you,
Thank you, Linda.
thank you.
I appreciate it.